Welcome back, everybody. I'm Phil, and this is a Drop Air Perspective. Well, I had a weird experience last night on a dating app, and I think I'm done with dating apps. If this is the quality of women that are on the dating apps now, that it doesn't matter how hot they are, whatever. At the end of the day, if their mind is fucked up, I don't want anything to bloody do with it. I'm certainly no simp. I'll show you what I came across, Bertie. This woman pretty much kicked it off, saying it's time to pick sides, and then going into talking about revolution, and then had the hide to try to compare Charlie Kirk to monsters like Mao, Castro, Marx, and oh wow. But yeah, I'm just I'm over dating apps and I'm leaving it. It's just I'm done. Check out these guys because this was just weird. You see, it starts off pretty normal, but then she gets into saying must pick sides, even though she's saying that she doesn't actually have anyone that she's going to vote for. Obviously, get into it, and I say that I'm a conservative and so I'm going to be voting for Pauline Hanson, and it goes from there. She tries to tell me they're all the same and they're all about greed, which we know Pauline's certainly not about greed. And that's what I've told her to. At the end of the day, like when she said the revolution is starting and going to happen and that, uh, at the end of the day, it's just a flawed idea here in Australia. We're totally disarmed. Yeah, you might have an attempting storming of capital, but it's not going to end well for them, especially once they roll the army out. People forget that at the end of the day, if it comes to it, it will go to martial law. It's simple as that. And what does annoy me though, my fat thumb, bloody, I'm always hitting the wrong bloody, if it be an I or a U, and sometimes the phone saves me with autocorrect, but it doesn't really know the difference between Kirk and Kirk, doesn't it? As you can see, look, I'm talking about how they like to call us names, dehumanize us at the end of the day, which is essentially what happened with Charlie. And then she goes on to say that I'm the idealistic one, even though she's the one that starts off by talking about revolution. How how does this mental gymnastics work? And then all of a sudden, it's just she's gone onto a tangent about war, which obviously I've had to address. But Charlie Kirk was certainly no one's puppet. He was the CEO of Turning Point USA, and he had set up many other organizations, including organizations exclusively tailored to help black people. And it's just, wow. And yeah, she just keeps going on. Like, I knew this wasn't going to go far, straight from as soon as she's asked me to pick a side. As you can see, I've gone on and I've spoken about how Hamas basically they just ideologically and they just want to wipe out Israel at the end of the day. And obviously, I've pointed out Charlie didn't have any superiors like she tried to say that he did. But this is a woman who really doesn't understand life, only what she's been told and indoctrinated with. And like, and religion's just being a tool to keep the masses under control. Yes, it has been at some points in time, but at the end of the day, without religion, humans are lost. It's what gives us our moral compass. When it comes to a moral compass for the leftists, anyone on, like, especially the hard left, their moral compass is literally Jack Sparrow's compass. It points to what they want most, not what's actually right. They have no idea what is actually good and evil in this world anymore. Their minds are so twisted. It's telling me I got to learn more about Charlie Kirk, apparently. And then she goes, and this is what really annoyed me here when she's trying to say that he's no MLK, Nelson Mandela, Mao, Guevara, Trotsky, Castro, Marx, Zapata, Villa, etc. No, he's not a fucking monster. He's not going to be remembered for fucking atrocities against his own people and ultimately hated by half of the world, or more than half the world. Anyone who understands what Marx is all about, he was just a Jew hating bum. Yeah, MLK and Nelson Mandela, they were politically persecuted. But other than that, I mean, she put Mao in there for fuck's sake. And Guevara, who was a fucking terrorist. I mean, but Mao killed 60 million of his own people. And to put Charlie Kirk's name into, and Mao and these other monsters in the same paragraph is just horrific. I found it totally vile. And obviously, she goes on with a tangent about the Jews. And obviously, I had to correct her about some history because, and then obviously, she ignores the whole fact. But she was also being quite condescending, like trying to say that I didn't know who Nelson Mandela was or MLK. What a fucking dumbass bitch. I mean, my profile picture, I'm sitting in front of the fucking flag, exactly like this, but obviously posing. But at the end of the day, I'm obviously a patriot, and she thinks it's a good idea to come on and have a political debate on a dating site, for fuck's sake. I mean, like, this is one thing that very few of these pro-Palestinian activists will acknowledge. They go, oh, it's always been Palestine. No, it hasn't been. The Romans changed it to Syria Palestinia in 70 AD when the Jews revolted against the Romans. And they also destroyed the temple. They did that as an insult. They changed it from Judea Sumeria. Wow. But the mental gymnastics that these idiots go through was just amazing. And as I pointed out too, Albo is just a pathetic leader with his efforts to recognise Palestine as simply to appease the Muslim vote, which was all for nothing anyway, because it got vetoed by the US at the UN. So there you go. She said, "Who do you think it was?" And it's just, wow. This lady really pissed me off. I'm surprised I actually spoke to her as long as I did. But I wanted to see just how fucking deranged she is. And of course, she's going on about Betty Gaza, Ukraine, and the Congo. That was one she fucked up. She fucked up when she brought up the Congo because who are the people that are being persecuted in the Congo? Who? It's Christians. It's Christians that are being beheaded in the Congo. And she fucked up there. And of course, she's still going on about the Jews and America being the worst terrorists of all, apparently. If other countries actually did the job and policed their own borders and got rid of terrorism, America wouldn't have to police the world. They act like they want to do it. Do you think they like wasting billions of dollars every year just to go around and have to deal with other countries' bullshit? I mean, fuck. Yeah. And she thinks that she's Aboriginal and Islander, and proudly too, which I am as well. I'm partly Aboriginal, but I'm also descendant from first settlers. But this is where, like, they also, I gave her the numbers from Gaza, and like any leftist, they're going to, oh, where did you get your numbers from? Blah, 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 blah. And because obviously they trust the UNRWA numbers, which is completely controlled by Hamas. But yeah, as I've addressed here too, about when she's said like Mao, because at the end of the day, when she's compared Charlie, who was just trying to debate and change minds, yet he's called a monster, a Nazi, racist, bigot, whatever. I'm sure he's been called every frickin' leftist catchword there has been. As you can see, I, you want to talk about the Congo? That's great. The Christians being slaughtered. Finally, that's an actual atrocity. Yes, because what we're seeing in Gaza, 95% of it is literally Hamas propaganda, attempting to make things look a lot worse than it actually fucking is. Because the numbers, as I said there, 60,000 people have died. Probably just over, it's about 65 now, probably. But and well over 20,000 of those have been Hamas. 5,000 natural deaths and around 35,000 casualties. In 2 years, that is literally the lowest casual civilian death toll in any war in history. But as I say there too, I won't be making excuses for people like Mao and monsters. It's just I don't know how these leftists twist their minds up to turn these people into heroes. As I said, I'm mixed race. I'm part Aboriginal, but also ancestors. Um, but I acknowledge the good and the bad on both sides. Because at the end of the day, there are quite a lot of bad things on that they don't want to talk about when it comes to Aboriginal history and culture. Said I'm also descendants from the first settlers, but and that is why I love my nation, my country so much. Not just because I'm first set stock, but at the end of the day, I was born and bred here. Growing up as a kid here in Australia was just amazing. I didn't have to worry about anything, even riding around in Melbourne. It was awesome. It was as close to paradise as you could get during the 80s and 90s. But yeah, we keep going. And I go on about how Labor's wasting trillion, well, wasting billions of dollars, and they've put us over $1 trillion in debt. And here, somehow I've lost sight of the debate. But I didn't go on to a dating site for a debate. I went there looking to find someone. But at the end of the day, this is what I'm finding, and it's just saddening, very sad, because I've given up hope for these sites. And there you go. She's going on about Christians, Christians this, Christians that, blah 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 blah. Yes, some people have done some bad shit in the name of Christianity. I'm certainly not going to condone any of that. And as I said here, I didn't come onto the dating site for a debate. And even when we show them empirical proof, they they still won't believe it. It's just ridiculous. This just it done my head in though. Like this woman, the fact that she was carrying on. I mean, and then to put Charlie and say that he's no Mao or Castro. It's just what the fuck. Of course, he's no bloody dictator. As I said, as you see here, I finished it up by telling her that she needs to find God. Because at the end of the day, the fact that this woman thinks that these ideas are normal and okay is showing the state of the world that we live in now. And so I don't want anything to do with women like this. As simple as that. I've been happily single for over 18 months now, stress free. Think about that, guys. You don't have to have a woman by your side to be happy, but it is nice. But you have to find the right woman. Don't just settle. I'm not just going to settle. I've done that before. It was a disaster. If you don't find a woman who is going to back you and have a similar moral compass and worldview to what you have, it's going to be a disaster. If you're a conservative, don't even think about having a relationship with a woman who has leftist ideology. It's not going to work. I hope you like this for a change, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you again next time.